What's going on, Dino guys and Dino girls? Today we are talking about Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, or I guess more specifically we're talking about the demo that's been out for a hot minute now. I have been putting in a very absurd amount of time into this demo, and I finally pulled myself away long enough for us to have a quick little chat about it. So for those of you who don't know, Monster Hunter GU is a port of Monster Hunter Double Cross, which is an updated version of Monster Hunter Generations for the 3DS. So basically this is a port of a Japanese 3DS port, and you know what? It is probably the best bang for your buck if you have fallen in love with Monster Hunter World. Alright, let's go ahead and get all the negatives out of the way right now. Yeah, you know what? It kind of sucks in regards to the fact that you're going to lose out on a lot of the quality of life changes that everyone talks about. Unlimited whetstones, unlimited mining, the scout flies, the camp, inside the map, all that other stuff. But you know what? You're going to be fine. I promise. This just means that you need to spend more time prepping before each hunt, and you know what? That's going to make you a better hunter, and that's going to translate back to Monster Hunter World immediately and instantly. Next up, yes, the graphics are going to be quote-unquote worse, and the game is locked at 30 FPS. And you know what? The environments are going to look a little bit more dated. Something that Monster Hunter World did beautifully were the environments. They create a great sense of verticality, diversity, and they felt just like living, breathing worlds, and the sense of scale was just, it was just incredible. I will admit, the maps here in Generations Ultimate, not quite the same. Pretty good scale, pretty good environment, so to speak. You know, you still feel like you're a part of the world, but on the whole, and add the fact that, you know, the zones have the loading screens in between, they feel more like mini arenas as opposed to being something that's part of a cohesive world. But in exchange of all of that, you are getting a game that is just packed to the brim with content. Like, we're talking easily 600 hours worth of content here. Generations Ultimate is boasting 93 large monsters. And on top of that, each weapon is going to have its associated weapon styles and hunter arts. Hunter styles give you the chance to play different weapons with different play styles in mind. So if you are someone that likes to mount monster, someone who likes to be in the air like you can with, you know, the insect glaive or with the dual blades, then you will probably be a fan of aerial style, which you can apply to any weapon set. If you prefer something that's a bit more traditional, you can always just throw on the adept style, which focuses on timing and evasion. Whenever you pull off a correctly timed dodge, you get a nice invincibility window along with a super attack that you can use for free. Now, I personally main as an adept charge blade user, and I don't know what it is about it, but kind of going back to this old style just feels so at home for me. I have over, 100 hours in Monster Hunter Generations, so I think I've been honestly anticipating this game a little bit more than I was anticipating Monster Hunter World. Now, I will be the first person to admit that using the Charge Blade in World feels smooth as butter. I love it. I can just slide around the monster, cut him up, and basically just be a gliding nuisance. But there's just something about the way that the Charge Blade works in Generations and in the older games where it feels a lot more meticulous to me. It feels a lot more strategic, where, I have to really think about what I'm going to do, where I'm going to use, my SAED, and I don't know. It just almost feels like there's something mildly endearing about the clunkiness or whatever you want to call it about these older games. I've heard people describe them as, almost a turn-based battle where you gotta make a move, maybe you'll hit the monster once or twice, and then you gotta dodge, you gotta block or whatever as the monster does their turn. That is very apt for these older games, and I think it almost causes it to have kind of a feeling of a dance to it. It almost feels like you guys are doing this dance, you guys are taking these turns, and it's just something about it that feels almost rhythmic to it. That kind of ties back to, that whole dance analogy. So something that I really enjoyed about this demo, and I think the real reason that I put so much time into this demo, is the fact that I felt like I finally had the chance to just really explore with new weapons and new styles. I found out that I really enjoy the longsword, and I really enjoy the new alchemy style. So the way that alchemy style works is that you have this barrel that gains charge during the battle. You shake up the barrel, and the more that you shake it up, you get more powerful items to help you throughout the battle. You start out with basic stuff like food, whetstones, ammo, and all that other stuff, but then as you shake up the barrel more, you get items like earplugs, which are pretty self-explanatory. You can also get a consumable that causes your hunter arts to charge faster, a mortar shot, and a healing field, at the highest levels. Now, apparently, at least in the Japanese versions, this alchemy style isn't exactly used a lot. It's not very viable or whatever, but it does seem like it is something that would be fun to use with a group of friends, and honestly, just as a solo run, it's really fun to use. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just something really interesting about it that I kind of want to experiment and play around with some more. Thanks to the dual stick controls, trying out ranged weapons doesn't feel absolutely atrocious anymore, so there is at least that too. That was the main reason why I never tried like bows or guns or anything like that, was just because why would I try to do that on a 3DS when I have big hands and I'm just waiting to just get a cramp within 5 minutes? And now that I've actually had a chance to try it, in the setting that it was meant to be in, it's fun. I think I'm going to try more of it, and I'm actually excited to see what these guns can do at higher levels. Like I said before, I think this is the reason why I spent so much time in this demo, is because I finally felt like I had a playground to truly experiment with Monster Hunter, and for me to figure out what weapons I truly like and what weapons I don't. Because since Monster Hunter 4, I've been pretty much only playing Charge Blade, and I don't know, I was ready for something different. I'm really enjoying Hunting Horn and Monster Hunter World, shout out to my fellow duders, but I was always afraid to bring it back into Generations because, I don't know, I guess I'm self-conscious enough to think that if for some reason somebody sees me using a weapon I'm not familiar with, they're going to make fun of me. But whatever, I'm here on YouTube showing you guys how bad I am with, the longsword, so who are you to judge? I haven't done too many multiplayer matches yet, but the ones that I have done have worked alright so far. I had one guy disconnect out of like the 3 or 4 that I played. And in terms of connection and all that stuff too, it was fine, but that was also completely dependent on the room that I was in. And I just want to say again, for a game that came out on the 3DS and is basically just an up-res port, I think it looks pretty good. All in all, I've seen people be like, oh, this just looks like dog shit or whatever. I'm like, no, if you just think about the fact that this was a 3DS game that they got up to 1080p, just a high-res version of the textures, I mean, it looks good. It looks exactly like you need it to, and it still fits within that kind of anime aesthetic that GU has. So anyone who's sitting here just complaining about the graphics, that's not what Monster Hunter is about. Monster Hunter has never been about the graphics. It's always been about the gameplay. It's always been about the challenge. It's always about the get good. So it's just an irrelevant comment, and you know what? The game looks great. But yeah, in conclusion, we are 6 days away from me recording. 6 days away from the release of GU, and I am just so excited. I am loving the fact that I can just sit here and start learning about what alt I want to do, and I have been having a great time learning all these monsters again. And I'm just, learning them again in the sense that I'm learning them for the first time with new weapons. It almost feels like a completely different game, which just makes that addicting gameplay loop even more addicting. So with all that being said, you guys need to find me on Monster Hunter, whether it's Monster Hunter World on PC, Monster Hunter GU on Switch, any of that stuff. Come find me, let's squad up, let's run hunts. I mean, man, I don't really need that many other games right now because I'm just doing so good with Monster Hunter. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the demo so far. Let me know what you guys think so far. Let me know how the transition has been from Monster Hunter World to GU. Are you enjoying this kind of more old school, more hardcore experience? just let me know down below, or just let me know what you guys think. Which one did you enjoy more? Monster Hunter Generations, Monster Hunter World? What is your favorite Monster Hunter game? Let's just talk about Monster Hunter down below. Leave a comment. Let's start the conversation as always. And until next time, guys, I can't wait to play more Monster Hunter. So I'm just gonna get back to it, and I'll edit this stuff tomorrow. Until next time, guys. Peace.